you're trying to do mergers and acquisition opportunistically. So you're just hoping that deals are going to like land in your lap, people you know, your network. It could happen and it might happen. And it honestly probably will happen at least once where an opportunity to buy a business from someone around you will be available. But if you're doing it opportunistically, you're not doing it like an investor. And our belief is that if you're going to do mergers and acquisition, you need to do it with the mindset of an investor. And investors do mergers and acquisition programmatically. So they have a pipeline, they have a system, they know what their yes and no criteria is. They don't get upset if a deal falls through the cracks because they have a whole system of deals coming down the way. If you're doing it opportunistically, because they're coming so infrequently, you are tempted to buy businesses that don't meet your criteria that you've established, don't meet the debt metrics you've established, don't actually meet the EBITDA numbers that you've established, but it's so close that you'll say yes to it even if it's not the right deal. Programmatic, because you're desperate, because you're like, I want to do this, but you're not setting up a programmatic, systematic approach to go about doing it. And you'll say yes to deals that shouldn't be had, and you'll say no. But if you do it programmatically, you can say no as many times as you want because you have a very strict criteria, and you know at some point a deal will come across your table that will be exactly what you need at the right price and right opportunity.
All right, welcome to season 4 of Legacy's Journey, where we talk about creating what outlives you. I'm your host, Cameron Williams, owner of Kinley Consulting, where we focus on strategic financial growth for marketing agencies so that they can live the dream like they deserve and not be a slave to their business. And we do that through CFO services and consulting. Now, this is season 4. And, we took a little break. Tax season was crazy. We had to focus on clients. Then we had to take care of the home team. But it's time to bring back season 4. And I'm like, all right, what's our theme? And we said that we're going to talk about people who are buying companies, selling companies, scaling companies, or they're just overall just killing it. They're excelling. So, since the last time we talked, I kind of expanded my reach. You know what I'm saying? I've been out here in these streets, traveling on airplanes in mountains, the whole nine. And so, it's a couple of people I've met. And this particular guest, I specifically wanted. I'm excited to have him on because, he's built this, I would say, perfectly working together business, but he sees all of this all the time. So he does not only some of the things we do, but he also has other pieces. But I'm gonna let him explain it because it's so dope, and he gonna say it way nicer than I will. So, ladies and gentlemen, Justin is here on the podcast. What's going on?
Thank you, Cameron. I'm excited to be here. Just living a beautiful day in August in Utah. So it's fabulous to be here.
There you go. All right. So tell the people, just because they may not have ever heard of you, name of the company, how long you've been in business, and we'll jump into it.
Yeah. So my name is Justin Maxwell. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. My company is I'm a partner in a company that's called Big Life Financial. And Big Life Financial is unique because of the fact that we don't just do taxes, and we don't just do financial planning. We don't just do exit strategy. We offer them all in a cohesive, collaborative unit. So our firm has the ability to do taxes, wealth management, insurance, legal protection, estate planning, and mergers and acquisition slash exit planning for business owners. And the reason that we feel that's so valuable is that we believe that when you start making the type of money that your clients work with, Cameron, that if you have this cohesion between your accounting professionals and your insurance professionals, your investment professionals, and where your business wants to go, that you're not going to reach your maximum potential. You're going to pay too much in taxes. You'll invest in things that don't align with your vision. You won't focus on your business enough, and everything falls a little short of what it could have been. So we believe that in order for people to reach their maximum potential, you have to have unification between all of those professionals and make sure they're all on the same page. We're modeling it after the single family offices, those families that have net worths in the excess of $200-300 million, and how they're organizing their wealth, and they have everyone on the same page. So why can't we, as the low to mid market business owner, copy that? So whether you have a firm that does that for you, or you as the business owner, you have to take that lead. Like, you have to organize your professionals to get on the same page. page, is what happens in most instances.
So let's go on ahead and address the elephant in the room. Cam, this guy sounds like he does what you do. Why would you have him on? Because A, I feel like you can learn from anybody, and B, at the end of the day, this is about you guys. So if he's doing it at an excellent level, which he is, by the way, and doing it top notch, and he has the insights and strategy and the tips and tricks to help you guys, why would I not bring him on? There's plenty of business for all of us out here. See, in this mastermind we're in together. See, you learn stuff like that. We're not in the competition. We all got our own people. It's cool. So who better to talk to you about buying and selling a business than the people who help you to buy and sell businesses? I'm just saying. So let's jump into it really quick. We'll do some like quick background stuff because again, oh, we don't know him. We just know his name Justin. All right, so take us back in the past. What made you start your agency in the first place? Like, what made you even come up with this is what I'm going to be doing? This is how you got started, the whole nine.
Yeah, I have a very, very interesting background, and most people are a little bit shocked to hear the story of it. So I was a school teacher previous to anything in business, and I had aspirations pretty much my entire life that I wanted to be a college professor. That was like the track and trajectory that I was on. But when I was doing my master's degree, I discovered that I don't like doing research. I don't like the red tape that comes with research, the actual execution of research. I love data, I love reading research, but doing it was not my thing. And so I had a little bit of a rocking of my ship when it came to what it is that I thought I wanted to do. And my entire life, never once in my life did I ever think business ownership or finance or money or anything of that nature. I was 100%, I'm going to work for someone else through the university, and that's how I'm going to make my big impact in the world. But when had that awakening of like, I don't want to do this anymore, it really opened the door slightly enough that a few serendipity things happened in my life that opened it to leading this direction and coming this way, including meeting my business partner who founded Big Life Financial, Derek Van Ness, uh, during that open window, is what led me here. So I was not the founder. I had no business experience. I had no experience in finance, but I did learn how to learn, and I did learn how to figure things out during my master's degree and during my schooling. So and bec- I'm a little bit obsessive when I get into things, and like when I'm on to something, I'm going to become an expert at it and figure it out. So that is a little bit different than your path, I'm sure. Like, because I didn't go to school for accounting, or I didn't go to school for finance or financial advisory, or to be a CFO or to be an investment banker or any of those things. Like, I was not on that path at all. But sometimes, in my mind, God leads us in directions that we need to be led, and we need to acquire skills that need to be acquired to better serve the world. And because of my outside perspective, I do have a different way of thinking than a lot of people that come from the inside and are trained up in that.
Okay. So, and I think that's super important, right? Because I know we talk numerous times on the podcast about like homeschooling sometimes. And I think this is a case in point of you just have to teach your kids to have the ability to learn. Because, like in his case, right? He didn't do like I did, which you guys have seen us talk about this plenty. Went to school for accounting, did my master's in accounting, have worked in accounting my whole entire adult life since I was 21 years old, and I am now 35. So I think that's a very important thing just to highlight because people talk about, oh, a lot of these business owners are getting into homeschool. That's because we understand if I can teach my kid the basics, how to read, write, do math, how to learn, then that opens up to be able to learn anything versus trying to pigeonhole them into a certain thing. Because, like he said, what if you switch? What if you get to a certain stage and you're like, oh, this really not for me? That's why. Now, so I just had to point that out because, see, okay, I forgot to give y'all context. Justin is one of these guys, he's going to say it's so casual, so calm, so peaceful, and you're not going to realize he just dropped a gem. Okay. So I'm going to make sure I highlight all the gems he drops for y'all because this just him. He just calm. He just cool. That's him. All right.
I can echo your, because we homeschool our children as well, so I am very much in alignment with you there. It's the ability to teach your children to learn and to create value, and you can control that you have a lot of levers you can pull as a parent to do that when you're homeschooling. And so that's why we do it, but it's very much in alignment with what you just said.
See, there you go. All right, now let's jump into it. So, you said in this case, he created a business. Now you come in as a partner. So, in this case, something's established, you're coming in. And we've seen that, right? Sometimes on the side of acquisition. So, talk us through just kind of the different mindset and challenges. Because, like you said, I know I have the ability to learn, but okay, you're doing what? I fit in how? Like, talk us through some of that because people are experiencing that now. Older firms are getting bought, younger people are like, hey, I'd sell my client base to you and I'll just come work and be your CTO. So talk us through what that looked like for you.
Yeah, so this was a very unique situation. So I'll open the veil a little bit more. When I had that shaking event of like I don't know what I want to do, I attended an event, and for the first time in my life, the speaker that spoke like spiritually rocked me to my core that I could actually produce value without having to work for someone else. And I realized that a lot of people on this are probably entrepreneurs and have always been entrepreneurs and didn't come from this background of like you work for other people. But for me, it was a spiritual awakening of I don't have to have my value dictated by someone else telling me what to do. I can create it on my own. And from that point forward, I just did all sorts of stuff. So I did real estate investing. I kept attending events. I kept going to things where I could make money. I was selling all sorts of stuff. I was flipping houses. I was just trying to find something of what can I actually do to make money. I went to another event. That same speaker was speaking again, and he had a call to action to book a call on the calendar, and it was my business partner. And my business partner and I just had a long discussion, and we were talking about life insurance on this call, and it ended very normally. There wasn't anything special from it, but a year and a half later, I was sitting at my table, and I just was like, I don't know what I wanted. Like, I still hadn't figured it out. Like, I hadn't found the thing that I wanted to do. But I had this thought come to my mind, and I was like, just call Derek and ask him, like, what do you do to get to where you are? And how did you pull that off? Like, how do you get to the spot where you're sitting and giving advice? Do you have to go back to school? Because I'm very good at going to school, so I could go do that. But the conversation didn't turn that direction. It was just shadow me, just make calls for me, and then we'll see what happens. So that's how it began, and I just became obsessed with courses and certifications and everything that I could possibly get my hand on, and then just doing the work and making phone calls and doing things for Derek. And then it eventually bloomed into an actual partnership. So the easiest way that I could describe it for your audience is this would be a situation where there's a talent out there that has something that you want, and you're finding them, and instead of just like making them a partner immediately, like you're going to get them to work in your organization, and if they're bringing a lot of value to you, eventually like you can have the upside of partnership, the kind of the trajectory that I was on.
All right, let's keep going right there. So now I believe you said you got it's four total partners, right?
Yeah, so we have an accounting partner, we have a wealth management registered investment advisory firm, we have an estate attorney partner, and then we have a exit and mergers acquisition partner. So five total people are my business partners.
All right, now let's go here because of course you know how this goes. And I'm only saying this for y'all benefit, not his, because me and him talk way faster than this and way shorter language. But because I know numbers kind of mess with people. So, okay, going from two partners to five, talk about some of the challenges that can present because, of course, now we're kind of in, I don't want to say in the partnership area or era, but like a lot of people are like, oh, I think we could work together and have some cool synergies because I'm really good at AI and you may be good at marketing, or I do tech and you may do ops. So, why don't we partner together and create something? Because you've seen it, and don't forget they got the legal side too. Kind of give us some of the things to look out for so that you have a happily functioning partnership and it's set up the right way.
Yeah, so this is, I think, really important, and I'll provide an alternative right at the back end because you don't have to do it this way. But the way that if you're going to go into partnership, the first and foremost thing is you have to like the person. The second thing is that both of you have to have the same vision of the future. So, because different people, some people have families, some people are on the tail end of their families, some people are older, some people don't have families at all. Like, people can have different expectations of what they want in the future. And if my expectations are is in 10 years, we're going to have this valuation, we're going to exit here, but my business partner's expectations are I want to be done in 5 years and I'd rather walk away. Like that's a misalignment. And it's probably not something that's going to mend itself. So if you can know what everyone's end destination is and make sure that everyone's in alignment, this is what we're all building together. It's going to help a lot with the partnership coming together. Some people just rely on I like this person. I think they're really cool. I'd love to do business with them. I love them as a human, but then they're completely misaligned on the end destination. So that's really important is you get alignment on that. Once you have alignment on that, now you can start bringing in like the legal things and making sure you're having really, really strong conversations on what happens if you pass away? What happens if your spouse passes away? What happens if we start to disagree? What happens if the market disrupts this and it loses all its value? Like who's responsible for what? So you just have to go through all these what happens if, and you're just trying to set it early so that if things happen in the future, you've already pre-talked about and contractually put it into how you're going to handle it as a group and as a partnership.
Got it. Okay. Now, he just told y'all 5 different partners, each has their own specialty. Let's go with the mergers and acquisitions. Super hot topic right now. Ooh, we want to buy businesses or buy a boring business. Give us your top 3 things that you need to be careful of if you want to buy another person's business.
Number one, you don't actually know why you're buying it. You're doing it because it's sexy or because, oh, Cody Sanchez is doing it. Roland Fraser is telling me to do it. Like I keep seeing it everywhere. I should do that too. That is very, very dangerous because you have no idea what you should be looking for, what criteria you should be going out for. You're just doing it to do it. And even if you have success with it, you still don't know what it is you're doing in that field. So to overcome that mistake that people make is you have to go internally first. So we call this the alignment of the business, personal, and financial goals. So personally, you have to align what is it that I actually want? How fast do I want it? How big do I want to go? What life do I want to live in the future? How much money am I getting in the future? And then if that future tells you that mergers and acquisition is the only way to accomplish that future, now you have like a driving factor to get good at it. Versus a lot of people don't know what their future looks like or what life they want to live, and they're just doing it to do it. And if you're doing something to do it without like an end goal, like you're on a more risk path. You're doing something that probably has a higher chance to fail. So that's number one is people don't they just do it because it's sexy and they don't have like an end goal for the whole thing. I can give an example of what that looks like if you would like.
Of course, why not? Because remember, these are mostly people who hate numbers. Numbers make me freak out. They make me anxious. I can't breathe. So break it down so it's easy.
Yeah. So the way I would do it is just send out into the future, like what type of life do I want to live? Just be really clear with it. What type of house do I want? What type of time freedom do I want? Am I going to be like donating to political parties? Am I donating to schools? Am I starting more businesses? Like just try and get very clear with that. And then tell yourself and be honest with yourself, is the income I'm making right now enough money to fuel that lifestyle? If it is, then you know that your current level of income is what you need to match it. And the easiest way to determine how much money you need to fuel that is you just times your net, so the after tax dollar of your income by 25. And that's your net worth, is what your net worth needs to be in order to replicate that for a 30 to 40-year period safely. But now that tells us very clearly, like for example, I'll just give my example. Like I want to give away $1 million in 20 years. I want to give away $1 million, not just in 20 years once, like it's going to be $1 million every year from that point forward for the rest of my life. There's no scenario where my investing on my own or any sales thing that I could do that could generate enough capital except through mergers and acquisitions in order to produce that much wealth that I could give away $1 million a year for the rest of my life ongoingly. So that tells me that I have to do something different. So mergers and acquisitions steps up to the plate as that's the solution that I should be moving towards. But I know the number that I need to hit in order to produce that million a year for the rest of my life. Does that make sense?
Makes crystal clear sense to me. So that's number one. What's 2 and 3?
Number two is trying to buy a business when your own operations are extremely sloppy. So you have poor tech, you don't have a good operator in your business, it doesn't really function without you. Like you're still the owner operator in it. It really relies upon you. If you're going out and buying something else and adding it to, even if you're making money, adding it, I'm going to call it meth. You're buying a business and adding it to your operational mess. You're going to compound the operational mess because now you don't know how.
Wait. Uh-oh. You finna make them mad. So I'll use myself, y'all, so y'all don't get mad. So in our case, we do accounting, taxes, etc. So if I go buy some 60-year-old guy's because he wants to retire his tax practice, you're telling me if my systems and my workflows and tech and all of that is not good to start with, that I do not need to be trying to buy his business because that's only going to make it worse.
Correct. Unless he has the capability that you want. So he has the operational excellence that you desire. And instead of you trying to build it, you're going to buy it from him. And you're going to make sure that that operational excellence doesn't leave when you buy it. And now you're going to merge that operational excellence into yours. And you're doing it really strategically versus most people don't think that way. They're thinking, if I just buy a business, I can mold it in. But if you're molding it into messy, you're going to compound the messy.
Okay. See, I told you. You see how calm he is when he says this? We've seen this happen. They freak out. All right, number 3. Here's the third one.
Number three is when you're, so I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. So you're trying to do mergers and acquisition opportunistically. So you're just hoping that deals are going to like land in your lap, people you know, your network. It could happen and it might happen, and it honestly probably will happen at least once, where an opportunity to buy a business from someone around you will be available. But if you're doing it opportunistically, you're not doing it like an investor. And our belief is that if you're going to do mergers and acquisition, you need to do it with the mindset of an investor. And investors do mergers and acquisition programmatically. So they have a pipeline, they have a system, they know what their yes and no criteria is. They don't get upset if a deal falls through the cracks because they have a whole system of deals coming down the way. If you're doing it opportunistically, because they're coming so infrequently, you are tempted to buy businesses that don't meet your criteria that you've established, don't meet the debt metrics you've established, don't actually meet the EBITDA numbers that you've established, but it's so close that you'll say yes to it, even if it's not the right deal. Programmatic, because you're desperate, because you're like, I want to do this, but you're not setting up a programmatic, systematic approach to go about doing it. And you'll say yes to deals that shouldn't be had. And you'll say no. But if you do it programmatically, you can say no as many times as you want because you have a very strict criteria. And you know at some point a deal will come across your table that will be exactly what you need at the right price and right opportunity.
Okay, so those are your 3. Now let's flip it to the other side. So that is if you are trying to buy, I see this company, I'm trying to buy it. Let's do the opposite because this is my favorite personally. The people who are trying to sell their business, because everybody thinks for whatever reason, I'm gonna sell my business, Cam, and I'm trying to get at least a $2-3 million valuation. I want a 2, 3, 4, 5x multiple. But you and I both know that there are some very key things that can affect that in regards to the valuation in that multiple. So, same concept, top 3 to 5 things that can drop your multiple or make your business unsellable. Now, I know these, but y'all listen to me all the time. I'm going to let the professional, because it's somebody I look for, like I look up to, I ask him questions. So I'm going to let him tell y'all the answer. So, top 3 to 5 things that will make your business multiple, super low, or just flat out unsellable.
Yeah. Do you mind if I talk a little bit around the data around all this real quick, and then I can jump into that?
I love this, please, because I get to use these for my post and be like, Justin said it, not me.
So, at best, business owners have a 20% chance of selling their business. 75 to 80% of businesses never sell. And then of the ones that do sell, so of that percentage, we'll say it's 20% that actually sell, 75% of those people regret it 1 year later. So the reason I'm saying all of this is because most sellers, most business owners think that a sell is inevitable, or just because I've worked in it for 30 years, I can just walk into it and demand that someone pay this amount of dollars or get this much money from it. And I just want to let your audience know as nicely as possible that that's just not the case. If you want to sell your business with what you're describing, Cameron, where they're saying, I want this much money and I want this multiple, you have to deliberately create it on your own. It does not happen by happenstance. So you have to go make that a reality and make it that, or else it will not come to pass. And if it does come to pass, you'll regret it later because you gave up your income source, you gave up your identity, you gave up your baby. When you thought afterwards, you're thinking, I could have gotten way more if I would have done X, Y, and Z. So I just say that because so many people think their business is valuable just because it exists. And that's not the case. Okay. So, number one, if you are the owner operator in your business is worth almost nothing. So, if you are operating your business and you are involved in the day-to-day operations and you're doing the execution and you're meeting with clients and you're doing the sales and the value, the revenue of your business is dictated by your efforts, your business is worth almost nothing. And you might sell it, but you're going to sell it for maybe one times EBITDA, maybe one time seller discretionary income, maybe one time revenue, but probably not. You know,
Wait. Okay, wait. We gotta pause. Because here's the thing, and you know this. I'm trying to speak on behalf of the people, even though I know the answer. But we're still doing $1 million every year in gross. Yeah, I am in it a lot more, and I may be over sales, but like we're still doing 1 million. Doesn't that count for something?
so I want people to view it through this perspective. You put yourself in the buyer's shoes and ask yourself, would you feel comfortable buying a business if the revenue is dependent upon the person that's leaving? You have no idea what the revenue is going to do if you step into those shoes. No one would do that because their ROI is not predictable. People buy predictability. So if you can prove that the ROI of buying their business is going to be predictable, they will buy it from you. But if you're the owner operator, you cannot make that promise because you don't even know how far the revenue will drop if you disappear from the operations.
Keep going. I just know what the people gonna think. They feel it gonna be hurt.
Their feelings will be hurt, but we need to wake them up now so they can change that. So you need to be shifting in, and how do I take my step out? How do I put systems in place with technology, with operators, with team members so that I'm not the person that delivers those things and I'm stepping into first the CEO role. But even that, if you can step out of the CEO role and into the investor role, where the investor looks at assets and says, how can I increase its value? What levers can I pull to increase its value? I have nothing to do with the operations of this business at all, but I can acquire another business to attach onto it. I can help invest into a technology that helps take away a team member that seems to always fumble, and now we're replacing it with automation. Like, that role of thinking is completely different than I'm in the day to day, actually shaking hands and kissing babies and selling things online. So, if you are the owner operator, just be prepared that your multiple will be completely reduced to something that will disappoint you, even if you're doing $1 million in revenue. Even if you're doing $1 million in EBITDA, they still won't like it because there's no predictability to the return.
You got one more. That's two.
Yeah. So the third thing, I think actually that was just one. So that was just one of the things. So
Oh,
the second,
1A and 1B. Oh, see, he getting y'all extra. Cause see, this the thing, y'all. I know it sounds sexy, and like he talked about, because I see Cody Sanchez and stuff too. Like, oh, it's as simple as you just need to do this. He's telling you, he's the guy that's doing the work to either get you to this point or tell you why you're not. So I know I like Cody. Maybe one day we get on the podcast. However, different ball game, different person. He's telling you from the deals he has done himself. Tell him what number two is.
so the second one is that your valuation is going to be centered on your EBITDA, but that just gives you an approximation to what someone will pay for you. if you're an operator, your EBITDA, your value, your multiple will drop really far down. They're going to lessen your multiple, but your valuation can increase as up to 70% if you can get these four intangible capitals really dialed in, because these make your
Okay.
business predictable.
Write it down, y'all. Here you go.
So the first one is human capital. So this is your team. So is your team bought into the business and not you? Is your team able to operate the business without you? The stronger your team is and the stronger you can prove your team is, the more predictable it is that the ROI will come back. So if you have a stronger intangible capital of human capital, you're going to move up the multiple range, not down the multiple range. The second one is customer capital. So how repeatable are your customers coming in? So if you have recurring contracts with customers where you don't have to resell them, they just keep buying the same thing over and over again, and they're on recurring contracts, that's more
Mhm,
attractive to a buyer than someone that has zero recurring revenue. If your
mhm,
customers are leaving raving fan reviews, it's really easy to get testimonials from your customers. Uh, Easy for them to talk positively of you anywhere and everywhere. That's strong customer capital. And again, that moves you up the multiple range, not down the multiple range. The third one is social capital. So, what does your community say? What does the world say about you? Are you in newspapers? Are you having articles written about you? Are you sponsoring community events? So your name is out there. People know you exist and they talk positively of you. So that could be you're doing charitable things. That could be you're sponsoring sports leagues. That could be that this is more so for like service based businesses with brick and mortar, but that could be that you like people just know, oh, that's owned by X, Y, and Z, and they do great work there, even though they never even might your customer, but it's talked about positively. The stronger the social capital, the stronger the multiple can be. And then the last one is what we call structural capital. So this is the technology you have in your business. This is the systems you have in your business. These are the things that work. It's plug and play work. So I could put new people in there and they could operate those things and still drive revenue. Again, if you can get all four of those four intangible capitals, your EBITDA will set the median mark, and you can move up the multiple scale up to 70% more by having strong intangible capitals in your business.
Okay. Now, we got to go. So he just told you if you want to buy, here's your three things. If you want to sell, here's your three things. Now, he talked about it earlier. So y'all know we got to talk about, we got to go there. Let's talk about finances, accounting, taxes. I think maybe the easiest way for me to ask this is just in a simple 2 minutes. Why or why not is that important? Because I still think that there's a thought out there that is just about I made X amount in growth and that's it. That should determine everything we just talked about. Now, you've explained why I shouldn't, but you and I both know that your financials are a super important part to this because it tells the intelligent people that know how to read it, it tells them things like cash flow, profitability, margins, the recurring projects, or are you project based? It tells all of this, any remaining debt. So it has to be, we ain't gonna say perfect, but perfect from your perspective, have a seen the really good ones versus the man, we need to address all this first. Tell us some of the, I'll just say, tell us your thoughts on how your financials need to be, the importance of it, etc.
Yeah, so they're vital for multiple reasons. I'm going to tie it back to mergers and acquisitions just for a second. If my financials are a mess and I have a CFO that's going through them, there's no projection you can make that's accurate on if I acquire this business that's doing X, Y, and Z and their financials say X, Y, and Z. If we plug them into here, you have no idea if you're getting an ROI on that business because your financials are a mess. So much so that you can't make any predictability on it. And again, everything is about predictability. So the more predictable the outcomes can become, the more comfort you're going to have, the more likely the outcome is actually going to come to pass. And bad financials give you zero predictability. So you have to have great financials so you can actually make predictions on if I do X, Y, and Z, if I spend money on X, Y, and Z marketing campaign, or if I spend money on ABC acquisition, it's going to produce this result with predictability. Bad financials, you can't make anything. You can't make them because you don't know what's there. In addition to that, you also have to have clean financials because it helps you make decisions from day to day. Like if something's not working in your business, your financials can reveal it. And you can now know I can make the change. I can fire someone. I can add a new system somewhere. I can stop doing something until we fix that thing. But if you don't have good, clean financials, there is no data to, you could be doing something wrong for decades and not even know, and you'd be losing millions of dollars over that time frame just because you had bad financials. So I hope those were two helpful answers, Cameron.
I just want to say that, we talk about that all the time on our Facebook content. So, now you see, I'm not making it up. I'm telling you what us numbers people know that we're trying to get you to see. Now, let's go here. You and I could both talk of this in a very hilarious way, but to keep it simple, the benefits of upgrading your financial team, because I've seen, and it's like it's funny, but it's not funny, where you will see owners, let's say they're doing $1 million, and they'll have a basic bookkeeper, and that they need more than that. Tell them the importance of, hey, that bookkeeper was cool when you're at, 10, 20 grand. That's not the case for you anymore. You need these upgraded services, the upgraded insights,
Because if your vision and aspiration is an 8-figure exit or a mid 7-figure exit, keeping team members that don't think that way or can't operate with that level of action are going to keep you down, not elevate you to where you want to go. And when you upgrade your team, you're upgrading them because they're in alignment with the destination that you want to hit and where you're trying to get to. And so many people hold on to people that they grew up with or they started their business with because that's what feels safe and comfortable and they want to bring them along for the ride. But you have to remember that it's your wealth, it's your money, it's your outcomes, not theirs. And they have plenty of people they can serve. And if they want to upgrade their thinking and they want to get better with their financial teams, they would have already done it, or maybe you can prompt them to do it. But the chances are you're going to have to upgrade because I like to look at it this way, just using numbers again. Probably 97% of the population doesn't need your services, Cameron, because you're helping business owners that are doing $1 million or more in revenue. And the percentage of people that fall into that category is very, very low. Yet there are bookkeepers and CFOs and accountants all across the country that will service people that are below that just fine. And they don't learn the strategies. They're not trying to be exotic. They're not trying to help people reach the biggest levels of wealth or exits or help them improve their finances or make their business better. They're just trying to service them in their own little sliver of the world. And most people have those people as their financial team, and those people aren't aspiring to get bigger. So you just have to look at it. You have to view it through the probability is that if you started with someone in the beginning, the probability is that they're a middle class professional servicing middle class business owners, middle class outcomes. And if you want to have better than middle class outcomes, you have to upgrade your team.
And if you want to have better than middle class outcomes, you have to upgrade your team. All right. We just beat y'all up for like a good 30 minutes. So we're going to switch it up. We'll make it more personal now. All right. Let's go rapid fire. These are more on the fun side. So tell the people. So I know that you're married, got kids. So what is life like for you now in regards to trying to keep or maintain that balance, right? I know you have to put in some solid hours, especially during the tax season time frame or the extension time frame, which we're now in. But like, what are some things that you and the wife or you and the kids do to kind of keep that balance? Like, is it a movie night every Thursday? Is it favorite ice cream on Saturdays? Like, what are some of those things?
Yeah, we're extremely so number one is the first thing we've done is we've really tried to mold into the vision of our wealth is not my wealth, it's not my wife's wealth, it's our family's wealth. So we're building it together. So they're participating in things that we're doing. So they come on, they go to events with me often. They're traveling with me. It's not me doing it, it's us doing it. So we're building it together. So that's the one of the first things we do. But for the fun stuff, like we really deliberate about choosing what we call the repeatable traditions that just keep happening over and over again to set up the opportunity. So dinner time is really important for us. So at dinner time, we're making sure the conversations are very positive. We have family values we're discussing. We talk about what we're reading. We talk about what we're learning. We're encouraging our children to teach us at dinner. We're very deliberate on Mondays to go get ice cream. We're very conscious of travel, so we travel frequently to just make sure we're doing fun things. We love the nature. We love nature, so we do a lot of national parks. Drive all over the place to go see those. Um, and then lastly is at night we have like a scripture and prayer time together that we are very deliberate around as well. And again, because we're trying to help make our children into producers and value creators, like they're empowered to teach and lead discussion, even if it's very basic and not super great. The key is that they're getting reps and opportunities. So those are the types of things we do as a family to drive into our destination, not my destination.
Okay. Here, let's go here because you talked about it a little bit earlier. Homeschool. What are your thoughts on, because you have like this, we have similar vantage points from the perspective of we know how business owners work, we know how the world works. We understand that AI is coming and is going to play like the internet did, 20 years ago. So from you being a parent that homeschools, what are some of the things, or I don't know, maybe you say ideologies that you're hoping your kids learn to prepare them for what their future will look like, which is completely different than probably what we're used to.
Yeah. So one of the best things I've ever heard is teaching your children how to create value in this world is one of the most important things that you can teach your children. And that's really what I want to help them see is business is just bringing value to other people at scale. And so it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. There's always going to be a need where someone can't do something. And it could be that you own technology that helps people do it. It could be that you're helping people do the AI, but that's valuable to people. So being able to examine landscapes, have a base knowledge of learning and whatever it is that they wanted to learn or have a specialty, but then inside of that specialty or across the broad market, be able to distinguish where is it that there's a pain point that I can solve, that I'm passionate about, that I think I can have a little niche in, and then I'm going to go solve it and bring value to that and really serve inside of that problem solution. So that's to me the biggest thing that people can learn is how do I go? How can I do that? How do I actually communicate that? How do I start this? How do I buy things that can help me with that? That's what I want them to know is that they can solve any problem they want and help the world. Like it doesn't have to be through charitable means and giving like of your time, which I think they should do. But as what I'm talking about is serving the world through value creation and solving the world's problems that way. That's what I want.
Okay. Last question. If you could get in a time machine and go back to 18 or 22-year-old Justin, but you know every single thing that's happened to right now this second, but you only got 30 seconds, what would you go back and tell?
So I've debated on this very heavily. I honestly would say because I did like my relationship with my wife had some issues when I first got into business because all I did was work and I pushed too hard that direction and it suffered the relationship there. So I don't think I would actually change I wouldn't say go to law school or become a tax attorney or any of those things, which I actually would think I would like to do, or that to me is really like aspirational. I don't think I would tell them that. I would say, when you get into business, don't neglect Diana and make sure that she's along for the ride from the beginning instead of having to go back and rectify that and fix those times when you were focused more on the worldly things of growth instead of the family along the.
See, that's wisdom right there, because I felt that. All right. With that being said, now is the time. So people have listened to this. Oh man, he's awesome. I got I'm thinking about buying a business, or I've been thinking about selling. I love what you said. Tell the people how they can reach you, your name, of course, business name again, any websites, any whatever you have. How can they get in touch with you if they're like, I need to work with this guy?
So my name is Justin Maxwell. I'm very active on LinkedIn, so you can just Justin D Maxwell. You'll find me. Big Life Financial is our website. If you are wanting to work with us on the exit side, because we can work really closely on that stuff with Cameron's team inside the accounting side, and he can keep all those. You can go to biglifefinancial.com/exit and or biglifefinancial.com/coaching, and we can help you with your exit, help you with your mergers and acquisitions. Specifically, if you have aspirations to have an 8 or a 9 figure exit, we can help you make that happen and make it a reality.
All right, so you heard it. LinkedIn, if you want to just chop it up, biglifefinancial.com in case you serious. Because we're not talking about this like little Rudy Poo. Like these are top-notch people. They're doing it at a super high level to get you super high results. So, y'all, these are the types of people that we are bringing to you in season 4. People that are doing this at a high level, or the people that are facilitating these high level deals. Please, please, please go back and listen to what he said. He's giving you the cheat codes for what to look for when you buy, the mindset you need to be in when you buy. If you want to sell, this is what you need to have in order, or else you will hurt your valuation. And then you're going to be upset, and then you're going to try to start another business or something like that. So these were super great tips. You guys need to like this, share this to people who you know are interested. I promise you they're going to get something out of it, because even for me, this was a great refresher. So again, and yes, like you said, like we work together, we talk, we meet up in person like 3-4 times a year. So these are the types of people that we're aligning ourselves with so that you guys can benefit. So again, share this episode. Make sure you like it. Let this be the #1 episode on our channel. With that being said, Justin, thank you again for coming. Any last comments you got for the people?
Shift from being an operator to an investor, and all of these questions, all of what to do, will start to reveal themselves, because investors think for big aspiration and big outcomes, and operators get stuck in, I'm going to have a $1 to $2 million exit and probably not have it at all. So that's the last thing I would say. Operator to investor.
There you go. So with that being said, guys, this is season 4. We're super excited. As always, until the next episode, take care of yourselves.